Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back after a summer hiatus of about a month or so. We didn't take a vacation, unfortunately. We were both working ourselves to death, so show didn't happen for about a month. Apologies for that, guys, but you know how life is. Sometimes just the day-to-day stuff takes priority, and goofy podcasts about reptiles take a back seat. But we're here now. That's all that counts. I hope you guys enjoy the Sometimes podcast, because that's probably what it'll always be. I'll always keep you guessing on when the next show is. This is episode 11, and it is August 3rd, 2026. And Rafi, my co-host, is here, aka Doc. And tonight we're going to talk about what the market's been doing in 2026, thoughts on where we think it might be going from our perspectives, older breeder versus newer breeder. And then multi-species keeping and breeding. Is that a trend? Is that something that's going to stick around? I don't know. We'll give our opinions. It don't matter. You guys take it, enjoy it, and leave some snarky comments in the chat, and we'll post them. Rafi, good evening. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, guys? So I was just cleaning rodents, feeding the animals. Yesterday, I finished in the morning putting away the animals after the show to quarantine them. Last weekend, I was at the SCRE, which is always a great time. It's a good chance that I have to talk to friends that I usually. Hey, that's awesome.
That's right. We're international, folks. That's right. Our viewership spans the globe. All six people.
I was gonna say that was one of my relatives, but it's not. But that's awesome. So I was at the show, the SCRE, this weekend. Met my friends. Had a really great time. Great food. We always have a good dinner on Saturday.
Yeah.
Meeting the folks. Vended with Andre from Chimera. Really good friend. Really nice laughs. So it was cool. But yesterday, as you guys know, with my ADHD, I love talking to people, but talking the entire time, just greeting people and everything and answering questions can put a toll on you. So I was mentally exhausted yesterday. So I went to bed at 8, which never happens. But there was a really good turnaround of people. We had thousands of people coming through the door.
Yeah.
But one thing that I might comment that I noticed, I didn't see a lot of people carrying like deli cups or pet people, right? We always had the breeder. Hey, what's up, Holly?
Holly, how's it going?
They're always the breeder buying. Some people did great, but as far as pet quality animals, I haven't seen. I haven't seen much. There was a lot of merchandising and different stuff, 3D printed. People were buying plants, supplies, as always. But talking to other breeders, it shows a little bit of how the economy is, right? Gas prices are high, inflation is high, so shows that people don't have the disposable income to buy pets. Of course, some people did buy pets. I saw some people with lizards, frogs, a couple of people or a few people with ball pythons. But looking at the deli cups was always like a $50 or a $70 animal.
Right.
So that shows truly how the economy is right now. I sold 4 animals, nothing great. some lower end animals, which I was very happy. So I could
Yeah.
get rid of some.
So
Uh,
do you think breeders are paying for their trips on the shows right now, or do you think they're heading home with a loss, but they're enjoying the time with their friends?
with a lot, that's what I tell people. I take shows. It is an outlet for sale, and of course, you want to make money, right? And you want to at least make your money back.
Right.
But I think it's more of meeting friends and exposure than anything else. I bet that a lot of guys made money. It's always a luck of the drawn, right? Like you have to have, especially for breeders. So two things that counts a lot. No, I would say three things. How your setup is. You have to have a really nice setup, clean, good lighting, because that shows your animals. The location where your booth is. So if your booth is like in one
Yeah.
of the against one of the walls, or if it's hidden by another booth, that will count too. And you have to be lucky to have what somebody else might be looking for. So you cannot have everything.
Yeah. Well, Choke Artist has an
Uh,
important question. How tall is Bob Vu in real life? I'm thinking five
Bob
seven.
Bob is I don't know, like but probably, of course he's less than 6 feet. He's a short guy. And one guy that I was actually impressed was Emilio from Villarino Reptiles.
Yeah.
That dude is very tall. That dude is very tall. It's kind of deceiving because you see people sitting down, right? So
Right.
I knew he was not short, but it was actually he's probably like 6'4", 5.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, he's a very tall guy.
Yeah. All right. Big dude.
Um, but the amazing animals, like people brought like some fire to the show. But what I noticed too, just like me, a lot of the breeders didn't have a lot of 2026. Is it 5'4"? Okay. A
So
lot
what do
of the
you? So what
breeders,
they had older stock that they were trying to move.
they had some, but the problem is, for example, I'm having a late season. I could not bring one hatchling from 2026, one, because they were either not ready, and I would not never bring an animal that is not fully established, or I'm waiting for shed testing, which
Right.
I haven't sent the sheds yet because they haven't had their second shed. So that's that. So mostly I had to buy two new displays. You have different sizes for the ARS. You have 5, 4, 3, and twos. Maybe they have ones, but I don't see the point of you having like three animals in the whole full display. So
Right.
I had to buy three spaces, displays, so I could display my animals, because I had animals like from 500 up to 900 grams. I didn't have anything like smaller than that, which would be great for somebody that was looking for what was selling. But
So I was going to ask you the sales that you made, were they pet level or were they intermediate or
they were
what?
not even, I wouldn't even say pet level. I sold most of the animals that sold were hats. So I had some female
Okay.
hats, I had some male hats, but they were in the range of $100 to $200, so nothing big.
Okay.
And but I was happy. So
So
I'm gonna start putting all of the animals, since I didn't have, and I put three already on Morph Market auction. So from now on, everything that doesn't sell before they move from the hatchling tubs to the 10 series, I'm gonna put it on auction, because that you have to have that turnover of animals, because now the hatchlings are coming and I need the
right.
space. So whatever doesn't sell, I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna be holding and just praying that they sell or anything like that. So I have probably from the 300 that I hatched last year, I probably have still 40 animals
I gotcha.
that I want to move.
So let's talk about market a little bit. You started vending shows how many years ago?
Probably last year.
Oh, last year.
No,
Okay.
2 years, not last
All
year.
right.
Two last years
So,
was 2025.
so you think maybe close to a dozen shows, half a dozen shows? What kind of data are we working with?
Like 8 shows.
8 shows? Okay. All right. So comparing the first few shows you went to vend against the last few, I mean, what are you seeing as a difference? It sounded like earlier you were talking about there's more like reptile adjacent stuff. There's more things, right?
There always has been things. So like you have the big stores that bring all the supplies. So they bring
Right?
fish tanks, they bring terrariums, they bring branches, they bring deli cups, whatever you can think of, or even enclosures, racks. And then you have people that will bring knickknacks and
Right.
crochet reptiles and stuffies and everything. Usually, the guys that do really good right now are the jumping spiders, for example, because they are
Yeah.
cheap to buy and the margins are high. So they'll sell a jumping spider for like $50, and then they sell the enclosure for like $100. That probably cost them $20, and then they sell the whole set for 150.
Yeah, well,
And
I tell you what, the cost to bring a jumping spider to breeding age is about 12 flies.
I have no clue. Like
Yeah, I'd
I'm
say
not
around
versed
there.
on, and they're very prolific too. So
Yeah.
you can,
You get
I don't know how
hundreds of
they
jumping
find.
spiders per egg sac.
So they eat each other, but in the end, like I think you separate them. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know which age you separate them. But it's a
Yeah.
process too. You have to enjoy it. There were people with lizards different than the guy next to me. He had uramastics. He had um, yellow ackies, which was pretty cool. The yellow ackies, and
Right.
then he had some sort of skinks. I don't know what they were. Very small skinks, and he sold a few too, but not major. What else did I see? Of course, a lot of ball pythons. I bought actually. I bought a pet. What is it? Was it Pueblan? No, it's not a Pueblan. It's a milk snake. It's a Nelson. I bought an albino Nelson for my wife.
Okay.
Uh, from Nixon. Because that's one of the things too. You have to be careful. It shows is who you're buying from. I wanted to buy
Oh
a
yeah, of course.
Mexican black king snake, and there were some people like my wife. Oh, I found it. I said I would not. I would not buy from these guys. A lot of people flip these animals. So usually Bob's show is
Hmm.
very clean, and you don't see a lot of it. But some people, when you see too many variety, too much variety, it's probably not very good because he
Right.
probably flipped those animals.
I
What
got you.
else? But the show was much bigger this time because he got like an extra section of the convention, so was really big. Snake Discovery, of course, was there, so brought a lot of people in. But again, how many people from the Snake Discovery crowd buy actually animals? They are there to meet and greet. They're there to buy merch from them, and they're there to buy things. So kids' toys and
Yeah,
stuffies
and that
and
I would say that business relationship is different, right? You're paying them to come to the show versus them paying to go. So
Exactly.
yeah,
They
we'd
got
have to.
paid
I'd be
to
curious to
come
see
to
what the
this.
if there was a cost benefit analysis done on that. I'm sure there's people. I mean, they bring a lot of people, so I'm sure that there are people that end up buying a reptile because they came to see snake discovery.
And
I mean,
to me is, as I said, it's luck of the draw. For example, I brought some like nice animals, and people were like pointing out to the animals like, oh, this is, you have like, some people would say, oh, you have the most like diverse display that I've seen so far in the show, because I had, for example, banana, black pastel, hypo, het clown. Like that thing is purple with orange. I brought banana hypo clown. I brought a black pastel hypo clown. I had some Nialis stuff. I had some DG stuff. I had
wait, hold on a second. I thought you said you were diverse.
hmm?
I thought you
On the
said you
ball
were diverse.
python.
That's all. That's all ball pythons.
On the ball python rain. Yeah, that's the leak of the draw. You leak the card, and you have to choose which one has been leaked or not, and they have to be Pokemon cards. Oh, that was a big thing too. Pokemon cards. People like were talking, and they were selling Pokemon cards. My kids start buying Pokemon cards. I said stop.
Holly, you have
So
bananas. I don't know why you're saying that. That's very hypocritical. I don't know. You're like a closet banana lover. All this hate publicly on bananas, but she's got bananas in her collection
dude,
that she bought on purpose. Like they
banana,
weren't like
banana.
gifts to her or anything. She went and intentionally bought them.
She probably wants everybody to get rid of their bananas so
Be
she
the only one.
can exactly, she can have every, well, the, what's the name of the company? JLP, I think it is, the guy that bought Balls and Strikes collection. He had some campfire. There's banana, cinnamon, calico, something, something, and those things were amazing. So banana, depending on like how what you put into banana, it's great.
Yeah,
Especially with hypo, which you don't get the spots or the browning. Like they look.
yeah.
I love bananas. So
Well, I think that the best thing to put in banana is an Angolan python because my Banangolan is just glows in the dark. Not a single black spot. Not a one. And
what did you say? You're
she's three.
cunilingus?
What?
What did you say? You're what?
My Banangolan.
Oh, I thought I heard something else.
Yeah, it's my hybrid, right? Royal Angolan Angry Ball banana. She's like lavender and green, and yeah, she doesn't even look like a banana. And Holly claims she only has two bananas. We, I mean, we know different. I mean, she's got a lot more than two bananas. If you guys want some good banana ball pythons, go see Holly. We're freezing up, Holly. That might be you. I hope. Anyway, hey, so since we got a bunch of people in the chat, let's go ahead and give a few shout outs. Oh, Todd says we're freezing up too. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to tell you. We're looking good on this end. Maybe catch us on the replay. But anyway, Todd, thanks for coming. Holly, always a pleasure. One of the co-sponsors. Thanks for showing up. Queen City Pythons, new visitor. I think we've seen you in the last couple podcasts. Thanks very much for stopping by and putting some words in the chat for us. Choke
Yeah,
artists, of
just
course.
you guys have to get cable internet or something like that, because
You can't use dial-up anymore, guys.
yeah, exactly, rural like Oklahoma, it's just like the internet is not very good.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll do what we can here. Choke artist, he's first. This guy wants a T-shirt so bad. He showed up first in the chat. Look at this guy.
I'm telling you, you have to, it's like Pokemon cards, you have to make people want it. Can't
Well,
just be offering shirts like you do.
I'm going to start telling people what you told me, that you're not giving anybody any shirts. The only way to get a shirt is to show up at the show.
Show up in
That's
my
it.
house.
Show up at
Actually,
at
this
his
time,
house, guys. I'll send you his address if you guys want to show up there.
actually this time I haven't brought any shirt to the show because I left one table for my kids to sell their stuff.
And the kids did better than you did.
100%.
That's right. So
My
I did a
kids made
little.
my kids made $600 between the 2 days.
No, so they paid for the trip.
No, I gave the money to them.
Yeah, you didn't tax them on anything. You're like, hey,
No, what
600
I
bucks.
did, what
That's
I
gross
did was
sales, right? That's not revenue. You gotta take off the food. You got to take off all your overhead, and then you got to
so
set
what I
aside
did.
taxes.
So what I did exactly that. So what I did, I gave them the first raw material, let's put it this way, or inventory, and I told them half of what you make is gonna be for cash flow, so you can buy more stuff for the next show,
Right.
and whatever you made above that, 25% is taxes. So you guys are, and it's not coming to me, that's actually taxes, so they understand how business work and how hard you have to work.
Doc, you're getting a reputation. You promised another T-shirt and then didn't deliver.
That's that Danny was the one that got
Oh man, what a criminal this guy!
I am a criminal.
They're promising all these T-shirts, guys. Nobody buy any snakes from him until he delivers on his T-shirts.
At least I delivered the snakes.
Yeah, that's the important part. But holy crap, how easy is it to stick a T-shirt in a box? I shipped a snake out today.
It's not, the problem is not
It had a
sticking the
T-shirt in the box with it.
The problem is not sticking the shirt in the box. The problem is having the sizes that I haven't bought. And one thing that I'm learning too is what I used to do is buy all the T-shirts and start putting the graphics on it, and then people want different colors and stuff, and I don't have, because now I'm keeping all the. See. Now what
I
I'm
do.
doing is
I have 2XLs. Rafi, do you have 2XLs? See?
Yeah, I misjudge the number of people that wants, like, most of what I have is L and XL, so I have to buy a bunch of double XL and 3 and 4s.
I might just send you a
There's a lot of,
T-shirt, Rafi.
and then there's like what chat? Like, I didn't even know there was a thing. He said, what's it like? It's like for tall people. Like it has to be. Is it double XL? What? How do they call it when it's like big and tall?
XLT?
XLT, is that what it is?
Yeah, extra large tall. Like this guy, Obsidian Kings, he's got to be like, how tall are you, buddy? JT. Look at this. Look at this. You ready? You ready, Rafi?
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, but he delivers the shirts, but not the snakes.
Just got, yeah. Well, you just got to buy them from me. I got a few for sale. My volume is low. It is, this is my first, I would say, real season of intentional pairings. Last season was getting the husbandry down and pairing with some proven breeders, getting the kinks worked out and everything, and having eggs when I'm in the middle of moving, and then having to incubate them in a rack. So yeah, you're only 5'10"? Dude, I thought you played football. I thought you were a lineman. Are you a lineman? Were you not really play? Did you not really play football? 5'10". So anyway, I did a little research on market trends, and I spent a lot of effort doing this. I think it took me about 7 minutes to write a really good prompt in AI to pull this research data. And
Do you
so,
trust it?
well, I mean, I ran it through the same prompt through ChatGPT and Grok, and I got basically the same information. And the thing I like about Grok, so I have Super Grok, right? I pay for the monthly subscription, and it gives me a listing of all of the websites it parsed the information from. So I know where the sources are coming from. And in all my prompts, I always tell it, don't make up shit. Right? Just give me citable sources. Don't make anything up to make me feel better. ChatGPT, by the way, is a lot worse. They do that. It does that a lot more often than Grok does. ChatGPT will straight up lie to you to make you feel good. It's like you're on a date or something.
No, no,
Um,
no, no, no. ChatGPT. Let me just cut you very quick. So as a parent of a teenage girl, like I was asking like for some advice from ChatGPT, like on how to how to talk to her, see if something would work. And then do you know what ChatGPT told me? From a parent to another. I was like, what are you talking about? Like it's like from a parent to another. And I said, like, you're not a parent. Why are you talking about? Oh, I'm just trying to look more personable. It's like I didn't ask you for that.
no, Rafi, ChatGPT is probably parents to more children than just about anybody else nowadays.
That's
So
true.
yeah, so don't throw that advice out. They're parenting probably millions of kids right now, or that is parenting,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Just singular AI. But anyway, for 2026, ball pythons still reign supreme, number one reptile in the reptile hobby, followed by leopard geckos. Cresties have overtaken bearded dragons. It is official, folks. The bearded dragon has been dethroned from whatever throne it had been sitting on that was above the crested geckos. Crested
And
geckos are now doing better than bearded dragons in terms of total sales.
And to be
Um,
honest, at the show, I didn't have a lot of time to be going like to from booth to booth. Like since
right,
the only time that I had was prior to the show, and I didn't see a lot of bearded dragons. Used to see like some breeders, and I didn't even see leopard geckos. I saw more crasties. Of course, Flawless Exotics was there, so they had like a killer crusty display, but I haven't
right.
seen a lot.
I think you'll probably see variations depending on the show that you attend, right? So, like for example, like you went to Sear. I mean, if there are a lot of cresty breeders that are closer to Sear, you might see a lot of cresties there versus bearded dragons.
Oh, for
You
sure. There
know,
were
or if
people
you're
that drove 15 hours to be there at Sear.
wow, 15. Yeah, I would probably. I clocked it once. I think I was around a day. I think I was around 20 something hours from Idaho to Georgia.
No, for
I'll have
you,
to
you
look
would
it up
have to
again.
ship. You would have to ship animals and then fly
Yeah.
because it's not worth it.
Yeah, either that or
Get a
buy a really
friend.
sweet RV.
Yeah, it has to be really sweet.
Yeah. And
Actually,
then,
Billy from Rice Reptiles, they bought a really really nice RV, and they parked at the parking lot and they slept in there, but it's like probably a 35 footer.
yeah, I mean, why
Really
wouldn't you?
nice.
If you get something like that, might as well save a little bit on the hotel room and then pack some food out. Of course, you probably have to vend for about 15 years to make up the cost on the RV, but dude, it honestly it beats being in a hotel. I mean, we've got a tow behind, and it's I would rather take that somewhere than go stay at a hotel anywhere.
Yeah,
Which
sure.
I can't really explain why, because it's not nearly as comfortable, but whatever. Um, but anyway, to get back to some of the statistics here, so we're still seeing healthy growth in the reptile industry. According to what survey is this? The Worldwide Reptile Super Survey, 35% of all reptiles kept in the world are ball pythons, followed by leopard geckos, 26%, cresties at 24%. However, there are strong regional variations, right? Corn snakes are very, very popular in the UK. Ownership overall is still going up. We're still seeing market growth of around 5%, which 5 to 7% has been, the last time I checked, has been kind of the standard outside of, COVID, where it was like 20% in 20 and 21, something like that. And then in 2024 was the only year in the last, I think, 25 years that we saw any kind of a market retraction. And that was like a 4% retraction in the market.
I think it was the adjustment from
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. And according to AI, we're still going through an adjustment from COVID. A lot of breeders are still moving out, shifting focus into other species. And I think as far as specific trends go, in 2026, you saw a big uptake in like the bio, what is it called? The live, shit, I lost my train of thought. Bioactive terrariums, vivariums are becoming a lot more popular. So all of
I
the,
saw a seller of bioactive. They actually had like a really nice setup with like waterfalls and stuff. It's neat.
yeah. Yeah, so that in and of itself, outside of the reptile, is becoming a big hobby. A lot of people are getting into it, and there's a lot of people on the social media pages, YouTube, Instagram, whatnot, that are posting that stuff. And so a lot of the newer, according to the newer, younger breeders are a lot more focused on building those types of enclosures for their pets. On the flip side, Freedom Breeder and ARS are getting some competition. So high-end reptile racks are becoming more popular. There are a lot more producers or manufacturers of those racks coming to market. So ARS and Freedom Breeder are going to have to pay some attention to that. And the other thing that has seen a huge uptake is UVB bulbs. The UVB bulb has become very, very popular. Let's see. Now, they're ranked in husbandry equipment, so they don't have like their own market analysis. But the husbandry equipment market is predicted to be a $2 billion plus market within the next 2 years. It's just under $1 billion right now. Think about that. It's doubling 24 months, according to AI. We'll see. We'll see how many other wars we get into between then and now, and that'll derail the economy. Who knows? As I told you, species that are gaining in popularity. Ball pythons still rank supreme, but the crested geckos look like they're the biggest gainers there. Leopard geckos have been pretty consistent. Bearded dragons starting to drop off a little bit. Some other species that are gaining momentum, the blue-tongued skinks. Apparently, they've got quite the personality and they're very interactive. I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Indigo
100%.
snakes and green tree pythons are moving up in the ranks of popularity. So yes, there's a lot of stuff going on. Where do berms land in your alleged statistics? They're not in there. They didn't show up. But we all know berms have always been the Newfoundland of the reptile industry. Not everybody can have one because they get so big. But
my first python was a berm. That was probably 2000. And they're great. The problem is a berm is not for everybody. And to me, selling berms takes a lot of, you have to put a lot of thoughts on how much you're going to produce and who you're going to sell to. Like, I don't want to see like berms in like pet owners' hands, to be honest,
Yeah.
because they get the thrill of having a giant animal and then they cannot care for it properly. Like, I would not have a berm, like a female berm on a 8 foot enclosure. Like, that's too small.
Yeah.
So I love retics too, but I can't get myself to get a retic because it takes a lot of space. Even the
Well, that's why
super
you get a
dwarfs.
super dwarf.
But even the super dwarfs, they require space. Like, you can't put in a 4 foot enclosure like when they're adults. Like, that's a shame. As far as pet goes, right? You see that guy from Jay from prehistoric pets, and you see those retics in those boxes that can barely move.
Yeah.
So I I
Yeah. I've
I
got,
think that they're great, but as far as like, I think Travs is doing a good job like with the super dwarfs and hybrids and all of that. So
well, I told you already, I went through an evolution in my, I guess you want to call it my breeding um, beliefs, right? I don't want to have tons of snakes and racks because then it turns into cleaning racks. You're not seeing the snakes, you're not enjoying the snakes. So I wanted to have a smaller collection with higher end snakes, and that's just an economic thing where I can interact with the snakes, and not all of the each snake is morph driven. I want to have some snakes that I can keep for decades, and be like, hey, she gave me 15 clutches, in the 18 or 25 years I had her or whatever. You know, I like the locality stuff, which is ironic because I absolutely love the hybrid stuff as well. So I've shifted to I'm starting to reduce my emphasis on ball pythons, to just one good project, and then moving more towards the other species of snakes that don't have morphs, and I can put them in bigger enclosures, and I can enjoy them. And the snakes that I've got in my enclosures now, I am so glad I did that. I absolutely love it. I've got the big Angolan girl down here in the 6 foot enclosure. She uses every bit of it. I've got the subadults up in here, right? These are in 2x2s right now. And they'll stay in there probably for another year, and then they'll go to a 4, and then the females will move to 6 foot enclosures. And I've got some Sanzinia that I'm going to keep. We'll see how they do. I mean, they get pretty big. They're a 7 foot snake, but they're fairly sedentary. So a lot of guys keep them in 4 foot enclosures, but we'll see what they do and how active they are. But that's what makes it enjoyable for me. I mean, I love the genetic, projects for the ball pythons. I think they're a lot of fun, right?
yeah, the only thing that market wise, that when you're talking about localities and all of that, for example, Dumeril's boas are great, right? The but the problem is they had this, and one of the guys that was pushing them was Jason from Jason Exotics, and they look good, they look great, but you saw this, and now you don't see as many because a lot of people start producing, and everybody
Yeah,
has the same thing, right? So that's the beauty of morphs. Like, not everybody is gonna have, even though they're the same species, not everybody is gonna have like the combination of morphs that you have. And back in the day when I started breeding, as early as '99, corn snakes were the ball pythons back then. Like, you had
right.
all the morphs and you have all the mix of, you add this and you add that, and then you breed like a corn snake to another, and you don't even know what to expect because there are hidden hats in there. And that's what's happening with ball pythons too. Like, a lot of these animals being sold as hats, sometimes they are pause hats, and you keep like breeding this with that, and you
Right.
get variety. So that's what I like about ball pythons. It's like it's
No,
always
I think that will
Christmas.
always keep them at or near number one because there is, I mean, it is like having multi species almost. It fits that, right? It's that same dopamine hit, but it's all in one species. So, yeah, I mean, by far, my ball pythons are like the most beautiful snakes I own. But I will say this, and people can hate me for it if they want. They have the worst personalities of all the snakes I have. And I don't mean that like they're aggressive or anything like that. Ball pythons aren't aggressive. They are not engaging in general. I think I have two snakes that would do well in an enclosure. The rest of them, they do not want to interact with me. And I don't know if I would say that like any snake wants to, but I would say that the other species like the Angolans and the dwarf berms, I think they enjoy coming out of their enclosures because it is hard as hell to get them back in. So I know that when I take them out, I mean, we got 30 minutes where it's playtime and I have to be engaged with them. So I got to make sure I schedule that. And the retics are the same way. The Karampas are actually a little bit more interested in coming out for playtime than the other dwarfs that I've got. But
How
the other
is
dwarfs, once I get them out, they're very, very curious. You know,
how is the personality of the super dwarf berms? Is the same as the
um,
berms, or
so the Pragashy, the dwarf berms, I have three pure girls and I have one 50%. And the three pure girls are very, very um, they love to come out, it seems. I open the enclosure. I have one still in the tub. I open the enclosures. They come out immediately. And it's hard to get them back in, right? Because they, you put the head in and then the body gets halfway in and the head's popping back out. And so you're playing, you're jockeying the snake around because that's what they do. They want to stay out. Like I will put the big girl as in she's exactly 6 feet. I put her on the 6-foot table over here and she loves to hang out there. And I'll open up her enclosure because she'll surf a lot. A lot of guys will say, oh, we'll just feed them. Well, I could feed her every day and she'll still surf the glass. So I pop it open and she'll sit there half out and she'll sit there for a couple hours while I'm working, just hanging out. And then
she's 5, you said?
She's 4 years old. So 6 feet long, 4 years old. Super, super sweet personality. My other two are trending the same exact way. So as far as that goes, man, them and the Angolans and the hybrids, the Royal Angolans, the same way. I mean, the Royal Angolans act the same way. It's like they took like the more docile nature of the ball python and kept the really inquisitive nature of the Angolan. The Angolans are pretty docile, in and of themselves. Some people claim that they're they're more hissy and stuff like that. And they do hiss more than the balls do. But I mean, I think that like, if you want to talk about choice-led interaction, you get a Angolan python. You open the door, they will come out of the cage. Unless they're in shape, then you stay the hell away from them.
Obsidian, are you talking about morphs for balls or for the other species that Travis is carrying?
So he asked this question a while ago and we didn't get to it. So I think he was talking about ball pythons. One of the things that I had read, and this, I mean, I see this a little bit, is kind of a refinement of the market where the new combinations are going to slow down a little bit, but you're going to see a lot more breeding for quality of specific genes. And so to think about that is Chris Hernan with his OD stuff, Ozzy with the OD stuff. So I think that'll pick up some. That's something that I'm interested in is finding a really nice combination with tri-stripe and refining that over time and seeing how nice I can make that. So, what do you think, Doc? You've been in it longer than me.
It's hard if you're talking about new morphs or trends. Today's trend, yesterday trend is not today's trend, and today's trend is not
Yeah,
tomorrow's trend. So you have to work with the morphs that you like and the combinations that you like, and be as diverse as you can as far as morphs, right? You can have 50% of your collection being lesser or being even spot nose, because you can do spot nose to spot nose,
right.
or focus on what you like, see the recessives that you like, and work a few recessives. Like I told Travis the other day, I almost uh bought a tri-stripe, and and he's like, oh, why would you say that? Why didn't you buy it? So because I don't have room to work another recessive,
Yeah.
and
No, I understand. I mean,
recessives.
you've got your focus. You know, I mean, you make really nice snakes. I've got a couple of them. You know, so and I'm going to put tri-stripe in them. That's you know, I love the labyrinth Burmese python, and it would be awesome to get that into a dwarf, but you know, I don't have the time and the space to do that. I think there's some challenges with the labyrinth gene in and of itself that would lend to making that a little bit more difficult. So you know, I'm getting my fix with tri-stripe. So
I like tri-stripe, and that's the reason why I almost bought it, and I said thank God that I didn't, because it's just another recessive. And then it imagine creating, like, you want to do double recessives. Let's say that I want to do tri-stripe monarch. I cannot do tri-stripe monarch clown, because clown doesn't do anything, doesn't do much with tri-stripe. So
no, it really is a very boring clown when you do that.
I would have to work only tri-stripe with monarch, and then the other incomplete dominance, and it would look
Right,
cool, but it would take me. My goal is to always match the recessives that I have. Right, I work them separately, and then you can interchange, and you can mix it up,
right.
like clown pied or monarch pieds or whatever, like clown hypos and then clown DG hypo. And I have very few exantic, which is the MJ line. I have one animal that is TSK that I wanted to put to monarch, but I don't work a lot of exantic, for example, because to me it's hard to, as I mentioned before, it's hard to change the color of newspaper. So you have to work with pattern, right?
Yeah,
They look great, black and white snakes. They look awesome, but like ADC, what they're calling the Xanthe DG clown. But you can only change pattern. You can't do much. For example, nobody showed me so far anything with monsoon that was good besides color. And that's what I mentioned. Like people say, it's very hard to change, because what end up doing is mudding up the snake and disappearing the pattern. For example, you add pastel or you add stranger, it just screws up the pattern. And then like
right.
what are you gonna do from there? And it's very limiting. So I like very busy pattern snakes and a lot of color and contrast. So
Yeah,
that's what
so
I'm aiming
I'm the
for.
same way. There's certain patterns that I really like. I love totally getting rid of the alien heads and
You
making it look
do?
completely different. And I like the thick bands, right? So I'm not a big fan of monsoon. Leopard, I mean, I love leopard, you know, and I would probably put leopard in everything if I have my way. You know, spot nose and leopard, I think, look super nice together. Spot nose leopard tri stripe is just phenomenal to me. I've seen some incredible examples of that. But I also want to put a lot of color in it. You know, when you look at a lot of the tri stripes, you know they're basically They'll have some OD or some yellow belly, but you don't see a lot of other things in them. So I want to really, and I know that a lot of the other genes will affect pattern as well. So I'm very curious to see what a ODYB um, fire combination would look like in tri-stripe with leopard and confusion. I mean, we can't go too crazy, right? Because then we won't know what's in it. But pick a couple recessives outside of the tri-stripe and a couple incomplete dominants, and I think it would look pretty sweet.
Yeah,
But
to Todd's point, his mentioning dry Marcon. I had dry Marcon back in, was it 2003, 2002. I had a yellow. I had a blacktail in Brazil. Drimarcon corais. I don't know how to pronounce in English, but I feel sorry. He was 8 feet. So the problem that I have is like with this like fast moving snakes, I like to have space for them. Like to me to enjoy, I would have to make like huge enclosure with a bunch of branches. And I was looking for a snake to eat other snakes when you have like a deformed snake that is born, or like dead snake or anything. I would like to be able to recycle those animals instead of just tossing them, right?
right,
But I don't have the space. That's why I was looking for a Mexican black king snake. I love the Dream Archon. I think they look awesome. They look fierce. I like the way that they move, like the variety of food that you can give them. But I don't know if your case is the same, Trav. Like if you would you consider a Dream Archon or?
yeah. I mean, the Eastern Indigo has been one of my favorite snakes since I was a kid. So if I were to get something like that, I'd have to do a little bit more research, but it's a toss up between the Eastern Indigo and the Japanese King Rat Snake. I think the King Rat Snakes, all of them, I think those things just look insane. I mean, they look just like a king cobra, and they're big
Yeah, they.
snakes. I really like the really big colubrids. The only thing that I have pause on is just the cleanup. I know with the faster metabolism and the way they process things that they're a lot messier, and so that's something I'd have to be okay with. But no, I've always loved the Eastern Indigos, and so that's definitely maybe one day we'll see. I'm trying to keep it Python specific. Aside from the Sanzinia, so I can't stretch out too much, and that kind of brings us in a little bit more directly into our next topic: is multi-species breeding for a business, right? Not necessarily to be a business you live off of, but to at least have some sort of profit over expense. So, what are your thoughts on it first, Rafi?
I think it's always great if you have variety, right? Like
Yeah,
in anything that you're selling, um, because you're not gonna appeal to everybody with
yeah,
one product. Let's put it this way. Um, you don't see a bakery only selling bread, right? They have cake, they have cookies, they have. So like, if you only sell bread and one type, like to say, I only sell French bread because my French bread is the best. For a while, you're gonna sell because it's the best, but then you're gonna lose all those customers that are coming from different things, right? So they will have coffee, they have. So the same thing goes for
you mean they
animals,
want different morphs,
but not only morphs. But that's why I'm not saying sourdough and French bread. I'm saying cookies and cakes and other
right?
pastries. So that those are not other morphs, right? So if somebody comes to your table and they see that you have ball pythons and you have boas and then you have some colubrids, it helps sale.
Yeah,
But I would say that people, to be honest, people that breed, let's say that you have like somebody that breeds ball python, they're interested in buying ball pythons. Do you think they're gonna go to to the table that has all ball pythons, or he's gonna go to the guy that has five ball pythons, five king snakes, five milk snakes, and geckos? Like, it doesn't look good to have too many on a display. Too for pet people, yes. For other
Yeah.
breeders, you want to go to the more specialized guy, right? So having too many in a show sometimes is not the best thing, right?
Yeah, no, I
Uh,
would agree with that. I think that you gotta, if you're a multi-species breeder, you should probably pick your top two or three to take to shows, and not try
unless
to bring
you
a representation of everything that you've got.
unless you have, like, for example, I only breed colubrids, and then you have like milk snakes and corn snakes and dream
Yeah.
archon, and then that makes sense because you are a colubrid breeder.
So you can
But
get away with all that stuff with colubrids.
mhm.
Yeah, not
But
so much with the pythons.
most of the colubrid guys, they do not breed other. They don't breed only one type of colubrid. They breed like multiple species.
Yeah, yeah,
Because just like any other, like, it's an addiction, right? And then you see blue beauties, and then you see milk snakes and corn snakes, and different types
yeah,
of rat snakes too. So if I was breeding colubrids, I would have multiple species. I would not go into the hog noses. I would probably go into the other colubrids.
yeah, yeah. No, I can hear you there. And as far as well, I answer JT's question. When can we expect clutches from the dwarf? Well, that depends on the kind of clutch. If you're talking about pure prog shy, I don't know. I got I got three females and no males, and I'm really, really hoping that the eggs that are in somebody's incubator right now that are due to hatch around well, in about 10 days. I really hope there's a male or two in there for me, because if there is, man, that's the best Christmas present ever, right there. Then I'm off to the races, and as soon as that first male is up and going, then I've got a female. She's ready. She's probably
I
been
could
ready for 2 years.
I could swear the that when you went and picked those up, like, one was a male. Okay,
No,
so two females.
yeah. So I've got three prog shy females, and I had two half prog shy females. I gave one on a breeding loan. That's Beelzebub. That's the demon snake. I couldn't. I didn't feel right posting her for sale for somebody else to take, and I didn't want to keep her in my collection. So I found a happy medium with somebody local that's crazy enough to take her, and he's already scared to death of her, and he's got a bunch of mainland berms. So
She's that bad?
this snake is very special, too special for me. Because one of the things that I want to do is breed for personality. I don't think that a lot of breeders pay enough attention to that. Right? It's all about looks and everything like that. So, like for the Angolans, I've got one male that is like really, really gregarious, and so I'm going to put him to my least gregarious female, and then select out the hatchlings that are the most gregarious. Because you don't really have morphs. In the Angolans, you can line breed for some things here and there. Like I like the lighter colors. Most of my Angolans are southern, so they're a lighter color anyway. So I don't have to worry about that. So I can make the sweetest snakes on the planet. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of where we're at on that one, JT. Stick around. We'll see what happens, but I'm not trading any Pragashy for ball pythons. I will say that.
One
Um,
thing that I saw that was pretty cool at the show was exantic black-headed pythons.
yeah.
And but what I liked even better than that was the Swiss line of the black-headed pythons, which was
Are these the
the
patternless?
the I don't know if there was patternless, but the Swiss line is like really orange. like very black head, and then you have like the pattern, like instead of like that yellowish brownish, was like really orange, really high contrast. Those animals were, and they were not like super expensive. They were like 2,700, and the normals were like 17. So
Right.
considering that they're expensive already, I would save the money and buy the Swiss line because it looked much better.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. And so Todd says multi-species is their intention. I agree, Todd. That's where I'm at. I want to have different, if you will, different business models. You know, each species has a slightly different customer base and a slightly different business model behind it. You know, the dwarf and super dwarf retics, you know, they still have kind of a morph market, no pun intended. And then you've got the locality super dwarfs that the pure localities. So you got kind of two different things there. Then you know the more rare snakes. Now there are caveats, right? I mean, if I'm buying the dwarf berms, my customer base is a lot smaller because the price is a lot higher. But the upside to that is I can do one clutch a year and you know eventually say 10 eggs. That's 40K.
But that goes with any more rare species, right?
Yeah,
And then if there's interest in the species that you have, you're gonna sell out. Like I would say that Amazon basins, they sell super fast. What's up, Tara?
thanks for
And
stopping by.
I
So speaking of the
as
Amazon basins, that one that you sent me from GS Reptiles, why is that $19,000?
it's an adult male, and it has a very
Is the high white?
there's a very nice diamond line, um, high white diamond line. You see like the very like pronounced diamonds, like white diamonds. But it's always depend on what you want, right? That the Amazon basins are line bred, so you have the dark background with the strike white stripe, and then the males, when the males, the individuals, when they get old, they're almost like black, and then they have like the white stripe, and then you have like the really clean green and the white
Right?
stripe. So it all depends on what you want. But the more, usually the more white and the darker, the more expensive they are, because the dark background gives that contrast of the white and the. I don't like as much the dark stuff, but I like the pronounced white lines. So when they have like the thick barbed wire lines is
Yeah.
what I like. I don't like too much too. Like Ed Marino makes some awesome Amazon basins, but he has some that it looks like somebody like spray painted white on the back. I think that's too much to my taste.
Right.
But people like them, so you have to appeal. The good thing is when you're line breeding, when you get like a really nice male, it's gonna pass some of that to the females. Like if you can have like average looking females, and the
Hmm.
offspring is going to be much better than the mom, right? So that's something to consider. Having a high end male is it's a good thing when you're inline breeding.
So for the Amazon basins, we can still import those, right? So no, are they
Amazon
ESA or
basins,
what's the issue with
Amazon basins are imported in probably trucks and boats because they come from Brazil. You cannot. They come from the Amazon, so you cannot import them, and most of them come from Brazil. Like the majority of the
So does Brazil
Amazon
have an
babies.
export restriction, or is there an import
There is
restriction that?
no export from Brazil. So every Amazon basin that is in the U.S. today was smuggled in. Just like the
Mm,
super fire. I remember like the super fire boa. I was in Brazil when it was found, and I was like commenting with my friends, like, "Oh, look, they found like a white boa." And I told one of my friends, I said, "I bet you everything that I have, which was not a lot back then. I was too young. That snake is gonna show up in the U.S." It's like, no, because they it's in a zoo and it's like it's well protected, it's secured. Show up here. So money talks, right? Like we're gonna see
yeah,
that. Unfortunately, we're gonna see that in the Kings and Monsters or whatever it is, the name of the show that they're gonna come up with. It's gonna
yeah. What
show
is that?
some of
Monsters
that.
of God.
Yeah, like
So
King
what's
of
your take on that?
Monsters, Godzilla, whatever it is,
Yeah. So you've got the same people that did
Tiger King.
Tiger King and Chimp Crazy, which made those people look absolutely
They're gonna do the
just,
same because what they want to bring is they never show the good side of it, right? Even
yeah,
though they can follow you for like months, they're gonna find the flaws, and that's what sells to people, right?
yeah,
Because that's how they do it. And they're gonna show the smuggling and like well, how it was, and they're not gonna portray people in a good way. And I think, especially for the venomous people, it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look
yeah,
good.
yeah. I agree.
And
I don't. I
maybe
think it's not going to
maybe
be.
big.
I don't think it's going to be a net positive. It's going to be
I
something we have to overcome.
I don't think for like pet stuff is going to be detrimental. Like ball pythons and boas and anything like that. But I think for big snakes and I don't know what else they're going to show. I don't know if they're going to show lizards and stuff like that. But it's never good. Like it's never
Yeah,
good. Like for the tiger people was really bad for them after that
yeah,
because on top of that the all the illegal things that they were doing, you had that crazy character that was what was the name, Joe Exotic, that didn't help the situation, right? And Chimp Crazy was the same thing. So
Joe Exotic's music though was great. He had some. He
car-
had some really
car-
good songs.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to have to stay buckled up for that one. But I think. What do
I'm
you? Are you?
curious to watch. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, yeah. I will too. But looking at social media right now and looking at a lot of the breeders, I think that we are well positioned if that is to come. If that comes out and it really puts down the reptile industry, I think we're well positioned to kind of fight back because we've got a lot of people that really do legitimately care about their animals and they post that content and it's good content. And so I think we'll have enough ammo to push back on that. I hope.
Because if you think you can make any business look bad, right? Any
Yeah.
industry, like think of dogs. You have the puppy mills, and then you have circus, like that has like dogs that perform, and then they are in the bad condition after the show is done, and so you can make a case for anything as long as you have a good lawyer blood. You can make things look good or bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. So we'll see what happens there.
yes, we can make probably a lot of people are gonna do, but we can make our comments as the show goes and we'll see.
Well, you know what we'll have to do, Rafi, is we'll have to meme it.
Oh,
After
that's
the
for
show
sure.
comes out, we'll have to meme it together and put up our own content to make fun of it if it's bad.
Or maybe they're gonna show like the picture of my bags being smuggled to Mexico on the show. You never know.
Oh God, do I still have pictures of you getting arrested at the border? I think I've got them in here somewhere. So let's see. That was you before. You were smuggling. You were in the middle of smuggling
Yeah,
on
exactly.
that one.
That was
That was, and this
that
this one is when you got caught.
with my droop face. I don't know what happened in there, but my face was drooping.
Well, you obviously didn't expect to get caught. So, but you have your logo on the box and on the bag.
I,
So,
I mean, I had the whole outfit just to blend in, but apparently didn't work very well.
yeah. And then after you got caught, you didn't really talk to anybody about what they made you do. So they made you dress up as Bugs Bunny.
I told you you have to wear that saying "What's up, Doc." I'm the Doc. I'm not the Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. And then your partner got arrested also, but we didn't talk about him too much. It was this guy. Awesome logo.
Short dead as balls.
That's one of the things I love about the ball python community is some of the gangster names are just just hilarious. Holden balls, balls of fire, balls of
Grandpa's
fury,
balls.
grandpa's balls. Yeah, all the um,
By the way, do not Google search Grandpa's balls. You might not like what you find.
no. My name even it probably still throws a lot of people off. Python Susie. What? Python Susie? Thought that was a woman. Nope, just an old dude. So, well, Rafi,
Cool
I think
guys.
we might be coming to a close on the show here.
No, we are. I still have to. I was feeding, so I have to check all the tubs and I have to feed all the rodents. So
Yeah, I got to do some rodent checks tonight after the show. Well, everybody, we had a good turnout tonight. I think we had 14 viewers at one point. That's 10 more viewers than our average. Not bad for having a show that only comes on sometimes. So appreciate everybody coming by. And I would like to say that Rafi and I get our act together and do the show on a regular basis. But I'm not going to say that. We both have ADHD and we both work a lot. So we're going to do the show when we can. And that's the best we can do.
yeah,
Family
it's
and
just
husbandry comes first.
yeah, exactly. Priorities, guys. Like to me, is always the animals when it comes to the show and everything. The animals always comes first,
Yeah.
and so whenever we can. But we appreciate you.
Yeah. Just bear with us. I mean, eventually, maybe 5 years from now, we'll get to episode 100. So stick with us. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Let's dive down. All right. See you,
Bye.
everybody.